came over here with the beer playing with the fucking cat. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Can I help you?
Welcome to the Nasty Labs podcast, part of the HyperX podcast network. We're the podcast and game studio Chuhai Labs, where we talk about games, game devs, Japan, and whatever else comes up. So we're your hosts, Kinsey and Mark. So open yourself up to Chuhai and let's go.
Let's go, Kinsey Burke. I'm gonna guess your middle name right now. Kinsey Mallory Burke. Kinsey Millhouse Burke. Kinsey Mitzi Burke. Kinsey, what's your middle name?
It's hilariously close, but you're all wrong.
Okay, Kinsey Murphy Burke. Kinsey Mandy Burke. Kinsey, what is it?
God, I wish it was Murphy though. That's an excellent middle name.
What's your middle name? Unless it's private.
Michelle.
Michelle. Oh, I would have got there. I think.
You were really close.
I think I would have got there because of Full House. Michelle, obviously. How the hell are you, Kinsey?
I am doing fantastic. Moments before this recording, I did not have power at my apartment.
Why?
So the podcast gods have smiled upon us, and they were like, bring her power back so she can record.
Hell yeah. And also moments before this podcast, you showed me that shirt you were wearing. And for listeners, she's wearing a Magic Carp Japanese tsunami shirt. And it's pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet.
So,
I like Magic Carp. He's such a dope.
Kinsey, what's going on in life? What tell me about life. Give me the lowdown. Come on.
Life is good. As we will get into soon, I've been playing an awful lot of Pokemon, hence the shirt.
Okay.
I was like, I've just been radiating. I've been radiating Pokemon, so I cannot wait for that section.
Okay.
Spoilers.
That's
what I'm going to talk about.
Also,
how the hell are you? How's Japan? How's everything?
I'm doing okay. Let's see. Last week, I got a life update, and then it's like this small update, and then it unupdates. Last week, my wife and I adopted a cat. A big 20-pound floofball, and he was super beautiful. And the cat was delivered to our house, and we had never seen the cat before. We had never whatever. And the cat gets there, and he goes into his cage, and he doesn't leave for 30 hours. So we at this point we're like, okay, we're getting kind of nervous. And so we call up the people. We're cat people. By the way, we're not afraid of cats. We're actually worried for its health. And and at that point the vet was like, oh yeah, he needs to come out, or he needs to pee immediately. This is harmful. So anyway, we no longer have the cat, and we don't have a cat right now. And I'm happy that the cat is alive and doing well. But now I still want a cat, and we are going to go tomorrow to look at some cats, and we're gonna go look at a dog as well. I don't know. We got to get something. We have a dog. We got to get something. We're going to get something.
Well, I'm glad that you thought first of the health of first cat.
Yeah.
And I hope next cat is fantastic.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. Like health first.
Yeah.
Who cares about like anything else, you know? Like we just,
because that was like a foster scenario, correct?
It was a foster, yeah. And this would have been a like a 3-week period of a foster period anyway, like to make sure it was the right fit. Like they take the fostering pets in Japan really seriously, and I really appreciate that they even have trial periods. They have like interviews, lots of things to make sure you're not a serial killer. And It's a pain in the ass, but it's also, I really appreciate it. Gonna get some pets. I like pets.
Oh, that's so exciting though.
Hell yeah. That's my life.
I'm also a pet person, and so I could not imagine when it's like moving to Japan. Sometimes it can be hard to find a pet friendly place, and the bringing a cat with you from another country is a bureaucratic nightmare. Nightmare. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, man, it'd be so much easier to find a place if I didn't bring my cat. And I'm like, well, yeah, but once I got a place without a cat, I'd just be like, now I want a cat.
Yeah, I mean, for people that don't have pets, they just don't get it. Like, it
Yeah.
makes us happier. We have to have them. So,
Yep.
as when I was looking for my apartment that first time, it was just like I'll take the shittiest place as long as I can have my cat. I don't care. So,
Yeah.
but that's my life right now. Other than that, I'm at the studio. I'm feeling pretty good. The weather's getting a little bit better here in Japan. Not as cold.
Yay.
Yeah, that's it. I think we should podcast this shit.
Oh, man. And will we ever podcast this shit? Because we have a great show lined up for you. As always, we start with what we're playing, the main topic, which is really fun, and I'm really excited about it. And then we'll move right into news, answering your questions from Discord. It's a podcast. That's what we're going to do. So let's check it out.
Thank you so much, Kinsey Michelle Burke. Holy shit. Do you like sponsoring podcasts? Check out the HyperX Podcast Network. Their microphones with the Quadcast. Tap in.
I just spit so much water out of my mouth. Tap in with HyperX Quadcast and Quadcast S microphone.
Shit, yeah.
More information at HyperX.com.
That's right. They're our fucking sponsor.
HyperX.com. All right, it's time for What Up, where we talk about what we're playing. Mark Lentz,
Yes.
what are you playing?
Yeah, I am playing. I think I'm playing what a lot of people are playing. I'm playing Vampire Survivor right now. It's I don't even know where to start on this thing. A 300 yen, $3 game on Steam. It started off as an itch.io game, and it's a top-down Castlevania. It looks like Castlevania themed survival game, and it's like a horde mode game. And as you like kill enemies, and as you kill enemies, you get experience or some shit. I don't know. You level up, and you get. It doesn't matter. Like the only buttons you press are the D-pad. You can only. There's no like action button. There's no anything like that. All you do is move left and right and up and down. And the graphics kind of suck, and the music is not very good. And it is basically like watching. It's like a pachinko machine. It's just stuff is happening, and there's glitzy stuff, and there's loot boxes, and it is so you get a dopamine hit every 35 seconds, and
so if it's horde mode though, and you
Yeah.
only use the D-pad,
Yeah.
are you like avoiding enemies, or is it more like Robotron, where you're shooting with the D-pad as well?
So your D-pad, like you have different weapons that kind of happen with or without you. And like for example, you've got a whip that it just constantly whips, and it's whipping in front of you. And then you've got a knife that's constantly throwing knives, and it has its own like rate of fire. And then you've got like spells that also have their own rate of fire, and they like maybe they attack behind you, maybe they attack in the corner. I don't know, whatever. But it's basically like a DPS game where you just want to cause as much damage as possible, and there's nothing to the game, but it's so complex, and it's just basically how long you can play the game. And I've played the game for about 30 minutes. I know the guys at the studio have played it much longer, because there's like there's an in-game currency where ultimately the game's about getting money, and if you get money, you can get better character upgrades, and it'll make your next run last longer. That's all the game is. It's but I don't want to downplay it and say that it's not interesting, because it's very, very interesting and very addictive. Right now, I've only played it for maybe 3 hours, but if you saw how small the game is, you would be you would be surprised that the 3 hours were spent on it. Like it's it's quite baffling at how like how many people are playing it at any given time on Steam. Like I think the other day we checked to see how many simultaneous people were playing, and it was like 30,000 people were all playing this. And it's a one-man game. This is a one-person game.
Yeah.
Like it only costs $3. You know, at the time of this recording, I don't know. Like I saw it had like I want to say it was like 50,000 positive reviews on Steam. You know, do the math on that, and that's quite a few dollars spent on it. And good on that homie for developing it. Like really awesome. And other than that, I'm also kind of, as always, I'm playing Spelunky still, but no, I have one update though. So I play Spelunky every single day. I do the daily challenge, and
that's awesome.
The last 4 days in a row, I've been second place on the leaderboard. 4 days in a row.
Hell yeah!
yeah. But like the person that's first place is like infinitely better than me. Like not even like it's like everyone below me. We're all kind of in the same tier of skill. You know, we're all pretty darn close. But the person who's number one is like phenomenally good, and like they're not cheating or anything because you can watch the replays, and like sometimes I watch the replays of this guy and I'm like, oh
yeah,
he's good, he's like really good, and but he also spends like so much more time than I can't do it. I just want to play the game and have fun. But yeah, I've been doing that and trying to not be competitive, but I gotta say, daily challenges in games are a great feature, and all games should have it moving forward. That's my takeaway.
It's pretty sweet. Like, that's how games like, Wordle get super popular, and that's all it is a daily challenge, basically.
Right.
It's the whole game.
Yeah.
But it went super viral.
Yep.
So, those things work. And I was really excited to hear you talk about Vampire Survivor because I've heard murmurs of it, of course, people around the office and in our Discord, people have been playing it as well. And I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet because I wasn't sure if I would like it. But I think for $3, I can find out.
Yeah,
versus
there's that.
Research it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother researching it. You could go on itch.io and play it for free. The reason I would advise against that is you don't get to save your progress. And it's it's kind of like the game. You will like it, you will at least $3 like it. You absolutely will.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It won't be a game that we play for years to come, but it's definitely got a lot of replay value, and I think there's actually a lot to learn from it as far as like the dopamine hits. And I don't mean that in like a negative way. I just every 30 seconds or a minute, something fun happens, and you get like a choice.
That's
like,
cool.
do I attack like this or do I run like this? You like one attribute of yours it levels up, and you have a lot more choice than a lot of regular RPGs where if you level up, then it's like you got stronger. This one's like, take a risk. Do you want to walk faster or do you want to do this? It's up to you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So without further ado, what are you playing?
To literally no one's surprise if you heard the first 30 seconds of the podcast, I'm playing Pokemon Legends. And so at first, I really wasn't sure if I was going to buy it. And then I did because the reviews came out and I was like, okay, people really like it. Right. I'll get it. And I have already put probably 30 hours into it, maybe.
Woo!
I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like I've played a lot. And I'm pretty sure at this point, story-wise, I'm kind of at the end game. But what I think is really cool about it is that, so the whole Pokemon formula, I was personally getting a little bit worn out on it because, like, I've been a Pokemon fan since, 1996? And, Sword and Shield were fine, but it's kind of, it's a new region and there's some really cool Pokemon, but sometimes that kind of newness wears off relatively fast, and then you're just left with the same game you've already played, in a way. Yeah. I love Pokemon, but these Pokemon Legends, it's, just different enough that if this became the new standard for the next few games, that would be awesome. It has a game loop really similar to Monster Hunter.
Okay.
And it has a feel of Breath of the Wild, even though it's not fully open world. It has this area is open world, and then you have a beach area that's open world. It's more like that, which is still fine. Those areas are decent sized, and I know a lot of people have been complaining about how it looks and the graphics. That's been the biggest negatives against it. But really, I haven't noticed anything that much. Pokemon doesn't need to be 4K beautiful to me.
Right.
But the one thing I have noticed, it makes me laugh, so I'm so glad that it's there, is sometimes if a Pokemon's like kind of far away and it's like it just loaded basically,
right,
it'll be super low frame rate.
Nice.
So, and it just makes me laugh so much because like the very first time I saw Gyarados, which is like, you know, a big dragon Pokemon and it's so cool and badass.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like flying around but he was like,
nice.
with his flying. And I was like, yeah, tight. Like,
cool.
I love that kind of weird jank though. So it just made me laugh. And I was like, this is all right.
So, it's semi-open world or like open biome or whatever you want to call it. But it's all in real time, all of it?
Yeah, for the most part. Like it does still have like turn-based battles.
Okay.
But it does it pretty seamless and you don't have to battle a Pokemon in order to catch it.
Really?
You can just sneak up on it and throw a Pokeball at it if you want. And I do that very often because I feel like whenever your Pokemon get like a certain amount of powerful and then you kind of like have your squad that you use all the time for the most part, then you one-hit Pokemon all the time.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to catch them sometimes if you want to like catch something that's way lower level, but you still have to like weaken it. So, and I always thought that was kind of frustrating. I know I could like go back and trade out my Pokemon for a weaker one. And
but these are your mains. These are the ones you're having fun with. So yeah, that makes sense.
So, but I just really like being able to craft a bunch of Pokeballs and then just go like ape shit and be like, I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you. And I've been doing that a lot. And I really like the sound effect that happens when you like throw a Pokeball at them because I always feel like you just sneak up behind them and you're like all quiet and crouchy and then you're just like bam and it has this noise that's like you just knocked them in the back of the head. Like and I don't know why it's so funny.
Oh, because it's like that's their skull, like the crack of their skull.
But it's really fun, but at least it does still have turn-based battles, but they're very like seamless. Like there's no like load in screen. It's more like instead of throwing an empty Pokeball at the Pokemon, you'll throw one of your Pokemon in a Pokeball at the Pokemon.
I see.
And then your Pokemon just pops out of the ball and the battle starts. And you can like run around like you can in like the Dragon Quest game, the newer Dragon Quest games, where even though it's turn-based, you can still like move and it feels like you're doing something.
Cool. Okay. So this is of all of the Pokemon games, you've played all the mainline series, right? Mostly.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I'm not quizzing you. I was just gonna ask. Like, does it like feature most of the because there's like what 1,000 by now, right? Like how many does it feature of the whole continuity?
That's a really good question. I feel like I have seen a lot of Pokemon, like, or caught a lot of Pokemon, because every time I see one I've never seen before, I obviously try to catch it to fill in the Pokedex. But I feel like I don't have that many. I have like, I don't know, mid 100s.
Wow.
But there's like 900 Pokemon or something like that, you know? So, like, I don't think it features all of them. I want to say there's, like, mid 200s, maybe 300 in this game, but it's not, like, a huge number. And I feel like the Pokemon diversity is a little bit light.
Okay.
Like, when I got to the, like, ice biome, there was a lot of Pokemon I'd already seen before that, like, lived there. There were still obviously ice Pokemon that lived there, but there could be a lot.
But there wasn't like a whole shitload of different ice types, and like I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next question is, you've played a lot of the main series, most of it. Have you played a lot of the spin-off games?
Yeah, like Pokemon Snap.
Okay, so like
best game.
that kind of was going to be my question. Was like, where does this fall? Like as far as fun in the spin-off games, like what type of, when you look for a good Pokemon game, what do you want? Mm-hmm. What does Kinsey Burke want? Do you want to catch shit, or do you want to like explore? What's the best Pokemon experience for you?
That's a really good question. I really like the exploration of this game, I really like the ease of catching Pokemon because personally, I always thought it was like a little bit tedious.
Right.
So being able to just, not have to buy them even. You can craft Pokeballs in this. There's crafting. It's awesome. And I'm a sucker for crafting and menus and all of that. I love
it. I believe that.
So that's been awesome. But yeah, I think this like kind of weird Breath of the Wild Monster Hunter Pokemon mix is kind of what I was looking for, even though I didn't even know it. Like, I wanted something that was more like 3D. Like in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they had like kind of like the Safari Zone in a lot of games, and now I'm blanking on the actual name of it. But it was a place that was like a 3D area that you could walk around and catch and battle Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And that area was really cool in Sword and Shield, but it was just one area.
Right.
That was kind of more that like 3D aesthetic. And so this is pretty much what I wanted. And I really enjoy what they did with like the timeline of it because like I've been really liking the story because this is the beginning of Pokemon. Like Pokemon and people don't work together yet. And you're making the very first Pokedex. Like it's a book. It's not even like electronic device like it is in all the Pokemon like mainline games. And
okay. Are you Professor
really cool.
Are you Professor Oak? I don't know anything about this
wish.
shit. Oh, okay, is that like I was just suddenly thinking like he was some old goon in the first game. So like it would make sense if it was
there's another old goon.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, all right.
In true Pokemon fashion.
All right. Do you foresee? So I see like this game as kind of they're dipping their toes in the water of like which direction they should head with the mainline series. Do you see that like maybe the mainline series will go in this direction?
I really hope so. But because they call it Pokemon Legends, it makes me feel like it's going to be, if it's really popular, it's kind of its own thing. But in a way, it gave them an out. Whereas, okay, well, this isn't a mainline Pokemon game.
Right.
We can go back to our old formula.
Right.
And it's totally fine. But I really hope they at least, like, learned a lot from making this one. That even if this formula as a whole doesn't make it to the mainline series, parts of it do.
Right.
Like, even if it's just being able to catch not in battle. Even if it was just that and everything else is the same, I would still enjoy that next Pokemon game.
Can you trade Pokemon with your friends using a link cable?
Oh, you can. Well, obviously you can over the internet, but I love that. Okay. So there used to be Pokemon that you could only evolve by trading them.
Okay.
Like that was the only way you could do it.
Right.
But like, because you can do it online now, it just doesn't have that same something of doing the link cable and like physical trading in a way. So there's an item in the game now it's the link cable.
Oh, that's really cute. That's really,
really cute.
Aw.
Yeah, I really like that they did that.
That's a nice acknowledgement for, I guess they know their audience because they're like, our audience is like plus 30. Like they all had a link cable. They know this pain. Oh, that's really cool.
Yep.
So you've played like around 30 hours and you're near the end game. After you beat the game, like I'm guessing there's New Game Plus or like you can just keep going. Just like
I know you can keep going because I've seen people talk about like they're in post game now. I don't know what that means.
Got it.
I'm hoping that means everything's just open and I can fill out the rest of my Pokedex.
Got it.
We'll see. I don't know yet.
Yeah, that'd be cool if it just ended.
No more Pokemon for you.
Done, dude.
Book is closed.
And is your betrothed playing it as well? How does he feel about that?
Oh, nope.
Hell yeah.
He's not a Pokemon guy.
Good.
And he has watched a decent amount of me play.
Right.
But every time he talks about it, he's like, I don't understand why you like Pokemon.
I mean, they're cute, right? They're cute.
Yeah, they are cute.
Yeah. Well, so you're gonna beat the game. You're gonna are you sticking with the Pokemon series, or when are we getting you out of there?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm definitely gonna beat it. I don't know if I'm gonna get all the Pokemon.
Right.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, that is my goal.
Okay.
But depends, I guess, when that next game I really want to play comes out.
Okay.
And then I abandon all Pokemon. And now it's time for our weekly topic. And this week, It's Mascots. I'm very excited about this because not only is Japan known for wacky mascots, but in the world of video games, the 90s was all about brand mascots and mascot platformers in the US.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're blending the Japanese mascots and the fact that we love Noid.
Yep,
okay.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right, Kinsey, Burke, tell me more.
As far as Japanese mascots go, probably the most like well-known ones would be like Domo-kun, who is the NHK mascot,
right?
Which is like a broadcasting. It's kind of like PBS in the US, but like, but I think most people in the US don't realize what Domo is the mascot of, and that's okay.
I didn't know.
Domo is now bigger than NHK in the US.
So I don't have NHK here in Japan, oddly enough, but I definitely knew Domo well before I moved to Japan. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was the DVDs were available at 7-Eleven in Japan, in the States, in like 2008 or something like that. Didn't make sense.
Nope. But I love it.
Yeah.
And probably the second most popular, even though I don't think this reaches Domo levels in the US, but Kumamon, probably the most famous in Japan, and probably, second most outside Japan.
Yeah.
But that is actually a really new one. Like, Kumamon was created in 2010 as a mascot for Kumamoto Prefecture and to promote like tourism and stuff. And boy, did it work, because they have made bajillions of dollars.
So
on this bear.
When I came to Japan, in 2010. That was the first time I ever came, and we didn't know what to get people, and so we bought sake, and it all had a Kumamon on it, and we only bought it because of that, because we were like, that is the cutest dude ever. Like, and so we bought like tons and tons of this stuff, and everybody was so happy, and they were like saying like, oh, this is so cute, you know, like it's great marketing, fantastic marketing.
Oh
yeah,
100% good marketing. Like it basically put like Kumamoto on the map as a tourist destination. Sure. And all the great stuff about Kumamoto Prefecture is now secondary to a bear.
I mean, it's a good bear.
It's a good bear.
Like it's, I'm for it.
Yeah, I love it. Do you have any favorite Japanese mascots?
Oh man, like during the commercial break, we were talking about the metal mascot, and I actually don't know much about it. So you know what? Fuck it. I don't know shit about mascots. I don't know anything about mascots. What's yours? Tell me about your favorite mascot. Don't fuck with me.
So one of my favorites is Melon Bear.
Right.
Because of how horrifying they look. It's basically like a big scary bear that has like a big snarl on its face and like blood in its mouth, like it just was eating stuff, and his head's a big old melon.
Right.
And he's the unofficial mascot of Yubari City in Hokkaido. Ooh. And I think everyone's kind of like embraced Melon Bear.
Right.
So now Melon Bear is even on like some like official like posters and stuff, just because he became so popular, even though he's like terrifying. But what I love about it is Melon Bear kind of encompasses that other kind of Japanese thing that's like kind of like, I don't remember what the actual word for it in Japanese is, but it's like cute and ugly together, and how it makes like its own category of cute.
Right.
And Melon Bear is definitely
that. Is that similar
It's
to
almost
wabi-sabi?
like not even ugly.
Is that similar to wabi-sabi?
Yeah, I think so.
Where
it's like
the imperfection makes perfection.
Grotesque. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. Melon Bear's cool.
Cool.
And I think my other favorite one, who sadly retired just a few months ago, and it's the saddest thing, and that's Nazo no Sakana, and that's the Chiba Marines baseball team mascot. And it's a cool like fish that's really weird because it can like evolve. Like the costume changes where he can also like barf out his own skeleton, where the guy in the costume will jump out of the fish's mouth. And then underneath the fish costume, he has just wearing like a fish skeleton costume. It's pretty great. And like right before they retired, like at a baseball game, they showed their like fifth and final form. And it was like this huge fucking deal. And I was like, God, this is cool.
Forms? What's going on? That's tight.
Yeah, it's 5 forms. It's pretty sweet.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. I do like baseball mascots. I'm for that. That's cool as shit. So now I want to go to a baseball game.
I heard they're really fun in Japan.
They are. They are very, very, very. They're literally the best thing. Like you take anybody who doesn't like baseball, you take them there, and they're like, yeah, baseball's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so in the U.S., as we alluded to before, brands were super big into mascots for the 80s and 90s,
Right.
and it spawned like a whole slew of like video games on like the NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis era, and like I was the perfect age for those when they started coming out. Because when the Super Nintendo and Genesis, I was personally a Genesis kid.
Right.
But when the Genesis and stuff came out, I, was like 5. So I was like the perfect age for that kind of like mascot platformer. Chester Cheetah.
Sure.
I played a shit ton of Chester Cheetah when the like Cheetos that look like a paw print came out.
Uh-huh. Oh
Like,
my God, I forgot about those. Oh, I love those things.
Yeah, the game came out in conjunction with it because then,
Right.
like, your things that you collect are the paw print Cheetos. And I'm like,
there
God,
you
this
go.
is genius.
There
So then
you
I want
go.
to eat the Cheetos while I'm playing the game.
There you
God,
go.
it's good shit.
Yeah. I'm looking at your list here. I owned Cool Spot on the Super Nintendo. I mean, it's such great cross marketing, and it's like really nefarious. I mean, it is like some evil shit to be like,
Yeah.
buy this product, play this video game, live the mascot lifestyle. But I don't give a shit. It's really cool. I mean,
Yeah. Cool spot. Yo, Noid.
I was afraid of the Noid. I was absolutely afraid of the Noid.
I mean, that's fair.
You were supposed to be, right? And for people that don't know the Noid, I mean, you probably do. We all know it now, but like that was Domino's. That was Domino's, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And the Noid is a mascot that represents cold pizza. He makes your pizza cold. And
What a dick.
you have the old slogan was avoid the Noid. Like the Noid is cold pizza. And there's a lot more to it, and like some guys it's some dark shit. Look it up on Wikipedia. It gets fucking weird. But I love the Noid. I love Chester Cheetah. Tony the Tiger. Give it all to me. I guess he's not. He didn't make a video game, but I love all those.
But he
mascots.
coulda.
He could have. He should have. Really.
Yeah, and cereal was a huge one for mascots. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't more games like that. I mean, the big one that comes to mind is Chex Quest, even though that wasn't their mascot, although it should have been.
Yeah, it almost was. I don't know. That game's confusing as shit anyway. But yeah, hell yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's even like some instances that are a little bit lesser known in some cases of company mascots that were a mascot first, and then they were in a game. I mean, the brand ones were, but these are company mascots.
Gotcha.
So, like Bonk's Adventure. So Bonk, or PC Genjin, as he's known in Japan, was the former mascot of PC Engine and TurboGrafx.
So wait,
he was
the mascot first, and then he became.
I believe so.
Wow, that's really cool. That's
yeah.
That would be like when we make a Choo High Labs themed Choo Choo game where you run around as Choo Choo.
That'd be awesome.
When we make that.
When?
yeah. When we make that.
And even more lesser known, but I love this game, as that is Boomer's Adventure in Asmic Land. And as he's known in Japan, it's Asmic-kun. It's a little pink dinosaur.
Okay.
That was Asmic's logo.
What the hell's Asmic? What's that? You're gonna have to fucking.
It's a software company.
Okay.
In Japan in like the late 80s.
Oh, sure. All right, cool. I will say that's a kick-ass name for a game. Boomer's Adventure in Asmic Land. That is good. That's Choo Choo's Adventure in Choo High Land. That's what.
Right.
That's what that would be, and I'm for it.
There was a second one, but it only came out in Japan. Probably because in the U.S. nobody knew what Asmic was.
Asmic.
They're like, oh, isn't that place that Boomer got stuck? I think that's what it is. Like,
Hell yeah.
But that game's fantastic. And I feel like when you're talking about video games, mascots, and Japan mascots, I personally think of the Yakuza series because it's based in a lot of, real world locations in Japan. And like they have their own mascots in there that are recurring characters. One of my favorites is Ono Michio, which is like a mascot that has like a big orange for a head and a little ramen hat, and he's dressed like a fisherman, and he's like a tourist mascot for the I don't remember the place where it's but he's a recurring character as well. And then of course Kamaloop, who was created to improve the image of Kamurocho in Yokohama. And so you can see, and it's like a big lop-eared rabbit.
So wait,
I guess it's a lop-ear. It's probably Camelop.
Okay, you're gonna have to slow it down there. So just so I follow, okay, talk to me like I'm an idiot and more of an idiot. These are mascots that are in the game.
Correct.
But they're pretending to be like the real world, how Japan has mascots for literally everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but they're only in the game. They're not like real mascots outside of that world.
This is very confusing, and I really appreciate. Okay. So hold on. Kamalop was created within the Yakuza series in order to improve the image of this region in Yokohama where Yakuza tend to be.
Correct.
Okay. I follow. It all tracks.
I love it. It's a whole living, breathing world after a real world. It's crazy. Video games, man.
Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, I guess like The Simpsons had a lot of mascots within The Simpsons, or I believe Futurama does too. I can't think of one off the top of my head, like, because I know Thompson's Teeth is not one of them. Thompson's Teeth, the only teeth that can chew other teeth.
Yep.
Ride the Walrus. Slurms McKenzie within The Sims, or within Futurama. That is a mascot within because he drinks Slurm. Okay.
And who's Slurms McKenzie based on?
The Budweiser guy, right?
Yeah, Spuds McKenzie.
Yeah, party on. Contest winners, party on.
He's like, I'm so tired of partying.
I'm so tired of partying. Yeah, that's so stupid. I like this topic. I don't know enough about mascots, except I have the Mother Earthbound character, Dosei-san, Mr. Saturn, tattooed on my body, and he's kind of the mascot for the series. So I guess I do like mascots.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Surprise! You like mascots. And now it's time for the news. We got hella stories this week.
All right, well, tell me one.
I saw it during a football game. I'm not sure if that's the way it premiered, but the first ever trailer for the Paramount Plus series, Halo.
Oh, shit. Oh, the TV show. Yep. Oh, man. This was...
the TV show, after years of teases.
What were they actually teasing? I knew nothing about this. Help me out. Tell me about the story.
Yeah, they've been teasing it for a while. This is the first like substantial trailer. Like I think they'd shown like some stills and stuff, but nothing like this one had like people talking and like a proper trailer, not just like sneaks and shots.
Yeah,
sneaks.
Check out them sneaks. Damn, look at them sneaks.
And one thing I thought was kind of weird is that it will not be part of the game series official canon. It'll be on what they're calling the Silver Timeline.
Okay.
Silver Timeline. But we do get to see a bunch of really familiar Halo elements in the trailer. It's pretty sweet, such as the UNSC and Covenant battles, of course. And a battle rifle was shown very prominent in the trailer, nice and zoomed in. Right. So there's recognizable weapons, vehicles, all the things. Halo sells, and I like Halo. Actually, currently...
Right.
My nails are Halo colored.
That is so cool.
Nerd fashion.
I did see that on Twitter today, and I was like, "That's fucking dorky," and I like that. That's cool as shit. Was that literally the plan? Are you like retrofitting the fact that you got like 4 green and 1 brown?
So to be fair,
okay, all right.
It started from a Destiny shader where I was like, "Oh, I really like these colors. I think I'll do these because these are really unique."
Right.
And then I was like, "Wait, those colors are just Halo."
But it was Destiny.
So then it turned into Halo.
Okay.
It was Destiny
Okay.
to get my Halo nails.
All right. Well, both are made by Bungie, so you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Close enough.
Close enough.
And speaking of Halo,
yeah, let's speak of it.
we got more Halo news.
Okay, what?
Halo Infinite removes its worst. I'd say that is an opinion. Its worst map from ranked play. So Halo Infinite recently removed the map, the Behemoth, from Capture the Flag of the ranked playlist. The reasoning was cited as poor performance, lack of cover, and people being able to spawn so easily right next to the flag. And it would basically they actually cited the battle rifle for a lot of the issues, being like it just turned into a snipe map basically because there's not a lot of cover there. Even though that map is awesome for other modes.
So okay, this is new. This one's news for me. This one is I was like upset. First, I don't play ranked mode, so I don't really care about any of that stuff.
Neither.
And but I do appreciate that people do, and that's cool. But I love this map. I is like the most fun, especially Capture the Flag for me because
it's good.
Well, when we play it here at the office, like it's about strategy. It's one of the few stages where like you actually can have a strategy and you can be better if you work well with people. And and I suppose maybe that's what people are really they don't like the fact that you can play a ranked match, and if you're against people that are all good and all have a plan, you're gonna totally lose, like for sure. Maybe that's it.
But I feel like that's also the case in any match.
Yeah, I agree, but like I think that a lot of matches are a bit more chaotic. I think like you get spawned in kind of more random places, and this one you kind of know where you're at all times. And
yeah, that's fair.
So maybe that's why. Maybe because I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of the most fun maps. But I don't play ranked play, so whatever.
I guess it like losses matter a lot more in ranked play.
Right.
So I could understand that. Like especially like if someone is sneaking around trying to capture your flag,
right? And
let's say you're dead, and then you spawn, but you spawn within sight of the flag. So you spawn, and you're like, that guy's taking our flag. Like,
yeah, I okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I don't do any like spawn camping or anything like that, because the game's pretty good about not letting you do that. However, in this map, when you spawn, you typically are out in the open. So maybe you could spawn camp and you have an idea where the enemy is going to spawn. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
That could be.
I love the fucking map. It's probably my favorite. Well, it's one of my favorite maps. Halo's really fun.
When we played with our Discord server, we played this map, all hammers. And that was hella fun.
Hella fun. All hammers on this map. Yeah. What do we mashed potatoes? We call that mode.
Yeah. God, that's a good name. Something that's less fun.
Boo.
Is when a game that could be really good gets canceled.
Well, no.
And so we're talking about the Boba Fett game that did not come to be. So some new footage was recently released from the canceled spiritual successor to the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game. And it's, of course, the infamous Star Wars 1313, which was canceled when Disney bought LucasArts and shut down the studio. And a new clip was recently dropped of Boba Fett basically in like the underbelly of Coruscant going through like bars and back alleys and getting in some fights. And like it is really like, pre-alpha footage, like prototype footage. But it just gives us a glimpse of what could have been. Like now it's just mean. Like we already knew that Star Wars 1313 was canceled.
Right.
Then we found out it was a Boba Fett bounty hunter game, and we're like, oh, that would have been really cool. And they're like, oh, you know what? it also looked like it could have been really cool. And
Right.
you're like, oh.
Aw.
I am glad that somebody is like preserving all of this though, because
Sure.
that's awesome. But the more I see of it, the more I'm like, well, we're not going to build a plant.
Kinsey, let me ask you a serious question here. What was the last
I'm ready.
Star Wars game that you enjoyed?
Probably KOTOR, but I did play KOTOR like kind of late.
That says like 20 years ago.
I probably played it about 10 years ago.
Got it.
But I also I really enjoyed like the very first Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. I loved them.
Yeah, those are cool.
Loved KOTOR. I was kind of excited about the new Star Wars Battlefront, and then I wasn't. And I didn't play Force Unleashed, and I still need to play that other new one. So my track record's not great.
Yeah.
For Star Wars games.
Yeah, it's I've always felt that like Star Wars games are either fucking amazing or they're middle of the road. It's like there's you're never gonna get a bad one. Like for the most part, like they're all but fucking amazing, and those are like the rare ones. The Dark Forces, the
Dark Forces, is good shit.
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, the Rogue Squadron. There's so many bangers, but then there's like a lot of little turds in there too. Little turds in the coffee.
Yeah. Oh.
What
the best thing to ever come out of the prequels. Is the Pod Racer game, Episode 1 Racer. God, that game's good. And when you play it in the arcade, you get to sit in a giant pod racer with the sweet pod racer control.
That was cool. I remember that game, the arcade game, coming out before the actual movie, and I believe it did. I don't fucking know now that I think of it, but that's the way my brain is remembering it. But I remember thinking that was so awesome, using your arms to I don't know, fucking go faster. I don't fucking.
The game was great. Yeah. And the arcade game is fantastic. If you ever see that pod racer in the flesh, but
Steal
it's an arcade machine. In the bolt, you should play it.
Steal it.
And our next story is looping right back around to mascots in Japan. Right. I like to throw in some crazy Japan stories within our game news because that's just how we do. But there is a brand new Japanese mascot. It's a monster who lives on the train tracks in train stations who eat kids who don't mind the gap. It was created by J.R. West, who teamed up with Osaka City University and the Osaka Municipal College of Design to create the Child Gap Fall Prevention Project. God. It's hard to say. But it's apparently because in Osaka, 1 in 3 cases of people falling in the gap in the train station are children under 10 years old. So they started this new thing with the university to figure out why and how to solve it and all of these things. And one of the things that came out of that is none other
than a salamander.
Mr. Salamander. Tsukima Mori, which is a combination of the Japanese words for gap and gecko.
That's really
he's
cool.
a gecko.
Yeah.
He's like a purple gecko-y thing, and he's got a lot of arms, and he hides in the gap between the train and the platform.
Yeah. And for those
terrify some kids.
For those that don't know, at the subway stations or the train stations, not all of them, but sometimes there's a 6-inch, a 10-centimeter gap, and it's kind of almost scary. Big. Sometimes it's normal and there's nothing, but some trains you're that's pretty large, and if I was drinking, I could get my foot stuck in there. And if you get your foot stuck in there,
or
a whole child, and it can be kind of not scary, but more just nerve-wracking. I don't like that there. I wish there was a gecko that would pop up and be don't do it.
All I want to know now, if I drop my phone down there, if the gecko's gonna a little gecko arm's gonna give me my phone back.
I mean, I know he's gonna take it. He's there to punish you.
But I mean, so they were a little bit worried that this guy was hella scary and was gonna give kids nightmares. So their bio also says that they dance when they're happy.
That's really cool. Yeah, I like that. I got
to prevent some nightmares. But I do love in their bio, they have a bio, and that's one of my favorite parts.
Right.
But it's 14 meters long, which is 46 feet, or about 10 children as a measurement.
He's 10 children high. That's a very odd measurement.
Right? Kids are varying sizes.
Yeah. He weighs about 4 children. I'm going to use that as a counter from now on. God, I could eat about 2 children.
Someone's just going to be like, it's going to be great. Now it's time for Call Me Up, where we answer your Discord questions. If you want to ask us a question that we'll answer on the podcast in front of the whole world, go over to our Discord and ask us in the Call Me Up channel thread thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Kinsey, I'm gonna ask the first question. From Steven, it says, "What's the worst job you've ever worked?" Kinsey Burke, what's the worst job you've ever worked?
So when I saw this, I was really trying to think about it because I've had like bosses or coworkers that I haven't really liked.
Sure.
But the job itself, not as much. But if I had to pick one, I worked at a vet.
Okay.
Like a veterinary hospital for like 5 months. Mm-hmm. And it was while I was in college. So it was just like one of those like side jobs I had for a while. But like on like my first or second week, I had to help with a what is it called when they like put the animal to sleep?
A nap.
A nap. Yep, that's what it is. So I had to help with that. And so my job was after everything was done, after the like client left and we're just left with the dog. And it was a big dog. It was like a big fluffy lab thing. And the worst part is that everyone thought it was kind of like a hazing. Like where all your coworkers laugh at you because you have to do this horrible job.
Because you have to euthanize an animal? That was the hazing?
Euthanize! Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
Wow.
But the dog was already asleep.
Sure.
And so I got to do that wonderful job where you shave its paw and clip its nails and make the little clay thing for the family.
I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. I don't like the...
Like a paw print thing, which is really sweet. But then they were like, okay, now it goes to the back in this like freezer where it stays until the person who's going to do the like cremation comes and gets it.
Yeah. Okay.
So they all thought it was hilarious that I, at the time, very small in college, like had to wrestle this gigantic dog into a garbage bag,
right,
and then carry it myself to the freezer, and it was horrible.
Right.
Downer, man.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I didn't work there for very long.
Pretty cool. Interesting. I guess my job. Yeah. When I was 15, I was a towel boy at a gym, and that's hand out towels, no problem. But then, seemingly, and then I also had to go retrieve the towels, and I didn't really like walking into locker rooms and then like a naked dude being like, here's my towel, dude, thanks.
Like,
I
don't talk to me.
Yeah,
especially when you're 15. Like,
didn't like it. I didn't like it so much. It wasn't my worst job. My worst job is definitely far, far, far worse, and not exactly podcast friendly. But that one involves a bunch of Southern boys, and that one's weird. But I'm going with the towel boy. I'm going with that one because I didn't like. I just didn't like all the nudity at the time. That was it. Yeah. All right. Next question. If you built a time capsule, what would you put in it, and how long would you keep it in the ground for?
That's a good question, and I feel like my answer is gonna be not good.
Okay.
But I feel like when I think about if I wanted something, do I want it to represent, is it my time capsule? Like,
right.
Do I want it to represent me, or do I want it to represent the time we're currently living in?
Right.
Because I feel like if it was representing me, it would be all this old as fuck games, and everyone would think it was from like the 80s.
Okay.
And that's not right.
I see.
Yeah. Fuck up the whole concept of a time capsule.
Right. Okay. So that's your answer? So you nothing?
You go ahead. I'm going to think of something.
Okay. Well, so I take a lot of photographs, and I use analog film. And I was thinking it'd be a lot of fun to go around and take photographs, but not have it developed, and just put it in there. And because then not only would they open it up, they would be like, wait, what the hell is all this film? And then they'd have to have it developed to actually see what it was. And having developed an old film before that wasn't mine, it's really strange and really not voyeuristic. And I don't mean like sexual or something, but like it's very strange to look into someone's life and be like, wow, that was weird. You know, like, you know, because
that's a good answer.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Man, that's way better. I'm like, I don't know, a bunch of video games.
That's good too, though. Especially, honestly, like old diskettes and old like little mysteries. I think that's kind of cool.
I do have a whole stack of like the big floppies that are just random ass floppies. A lot of them have handwriting on them from some guy in the 80s, and
that's really cool.
Just throw that whole stack in there.
That's
because I personally haven't gone through it because that's a lot of work.
Right.
So I'm just gonna push that off to somebody else down the road.
It's double mystery, like.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because like you don't know. It's sort of like it's the same as the photograph thing, because like you don't. Like if I took the photograph, I still wouldn't know what it was like, and then whoever found it in 100 years would be like, well, who the hell is this person? Why did they leave me these diskettes?
Yeah. Like, I'm going to put my Magikarp shirt in there.
Yeah.
And they're like, this person was a dork.
Or 100 years from now or whatever, they would love that shirt. They would treasure that shirt.
Vintage.
Yeah. I mean, super vintage. That would be like so cool. Yeah.
How long would you make it in the ground for? I mean, if you make it too long, well, does film like disintegrate?
It corrodes, yeah, for sure. But I wouldn't matter. Like it would. Hopefully the person that found it would do the right thing and be like, hey, this has been in here for however long. Therefore, we shouldn't just develop it normally. We should develop it using modern science.
Yeah, and be careful.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that. I would say like 100 years. Yeah, like long enough where even if it was my own relative, they wouldn't know me.
Yeah.
You know, like I like the idea of the mystery and like piecing it all together. I think that's really cool.
Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. It's a good answer.
Oh.
Next question is specifically for you.
Okay.
And so, question for Mark.
Yes.
What was your journey like when you first got to Japan? The talk in the other chat, meaning our Discord,
right?
About the English language workbook school sounds like you have some fun stories. And
yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to hear about it.
Okay. So before I moved to Japan, so let me just preface, I don't have a college degree. And when you move abroad, you almost need a college degree for any visa. Like it's kind of just a standard thing. It's like typically it's a college degree or like 10 years experience in like something very specific. Not to mention you have to get a job that will sponsor that visa. You can't just go to other countries. And when I used to live in Korea, and I didn't have a degree, didn't have any experience. So I was an odd job person. I worked for Red Bull. I was on Korean dramas. I was on tons of commercials. I was in movies. I co-owned a bar. I started more businesses and failed more businesses than you could possibly imagine. But this one he's talking about was my friend Doug got me a job at where we would make English language workbooks. And so someone wrote a book, like a little like for fifth graders or some shit, and it would be like Kevin saves the day. That's the name of the book or whatever. I'm just making that up. I would read the book and then I would make a dozen workbooks based on it. Like there would be a lesson of how to, like what English ability you're learning. And I don't have a college degree, and I especially don't give a shit. And I did not care. And nobody's checking my work because it was basically a factory where we had to write we had to write like several books a day. And,
Damn.
It sucked. But because no one was checking my work with the fine tooth comb, I would go in and I would do like I would do really strange sentences like, Kevin thinks about the wizard. Or like, and there's no wizard in this story, or
Kevin.
Yeah, or like Kevin is going to buy 10 helicopters. Like, doesn't matter. Like, I would just always like find the thing the key point and just like, how do I exploit it and just make it like completely nonsense. And I'm sure that like whatever English language teacher got this book, I'm sure they were like, whoever wrote this is a fucking idiot,
I hope to find one of those someday.
Oh man, they're fucking terrible. But yeah, long story short, I don't know. The journey was weird, and mostly it was just about meeting people. And I came to Japan because I just met a bunch of people in the games industry from Kyoto, and I came to Bit Summit, which is the Kyoto's event, and I had the intention of going to every single studio and meeting the CEOs at all of them. And my intent was at the end of it, I was going to get a job. And at the end of it, I got a job. And it worked out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was just trying to impress people, and it worked.
Nice.
Yeah. That's mine.
It's a good story.
All right. I'm gonna read the last question here. I know already. Wait. I know I already asked a question, but considering the new Direct, what are your two's thoughts on it? Oh shit. Okay. Fuck this guy. What he's saying is, hey guys, what do you think about the Nintendo Direct? That's a good question. Kinsey, Burke, what are you thinking about the Nintendo Direct?
So at the time of this podcast, Nintendo Direct was just released yesterday,
right?
And it was full of remakes and remasters, and it was I like to think of it as like a crazy like wild card.
Yeah.
Like bringing a pixel remaster of Live Alive, which was recently only in Japan before,
Sure.
and they're bringing that over. Why? I don't know, but it's great. And like older games like The Force Unleashed and Front Mission are coming to the Switch.
Bizarre.
Like it was the most random thing, and like I don't know. It was kind of like for people who have played games for a long time. So it's like this was a Nintendo Direct for game fans, and I was totally there for it.
Yeah, I believe this Nintendo Direct was for people that are on average the age of 32, and
yeah,
like because it was across the board older things, and
for the most part,
I think it was a really good Direct in that like it covered RPGs, it covered old school things, it covered Klonoa, all across the board. For example, I didn't care too much about the entire Direct, like from a product perspective, but when I saw Klonoa, I was like, oh, I will buy one thing from this commercial. Like it did work.
Yeah.
So.
And Klonoa, like, I haven't heard anyone talk about Klonoa in forever. That's not a series I thought was going to come back. Right. Like, brand new Klonoa game was not on my, 2022 bingo card.
No. It looks like Klonoa, it looks like a remake of the Wii, which is a remake of the first one. I don't care, though, but, like, for me, that's a series I really enjoy. And there was a lot of games on there that I really enjoyed, but, like, knowing that I watched a 40-minute video and I am going to at least spend $30, $40, it worked. The commercial worked.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
I'm excited they showed some Splatoon 3 stuff. They've been a little quiet on that for a while. Right. And also Kirby. All the stuff with the new Kirby game, and that looks awesome. Although I swear I don't even know what game came on after the Kirby like trailer, because when they were like introducing mouthful mode. And I was like, what the fuck?
I'm good.
And I just
Check, please.
I lost it. I was like, oh my God, how can you say that and not laugh? It's so funny.
Mouthful
it's so
mode.
funny. But it's like, so Kirby doesn't turn, if you don't know.
Right.
So for example, when they first show off mouthful mode, it's Kirby putting his whole mouth around a car, but he doesn't turn into a car. He is just the car's hat. And you can now drive around as Car Kirby.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they also do it with like a vending machine. Like,
I actually saw this morning some somebody made some pixel art for or some sprites for Super Nintendo Mario Kart and they renamed him Carby.
That's good.
It's pretty good. I think Carby is pretty hilarious. Does that game look good to you, or are you interested in that?
Yeah, I am actually. I think that'll be my next like co-op game for me and my husband, because like we recently played It Takes Two, which you heard me talk all about on one of the previous episodes of the podcast. But we don't really have a co-op game right now, so I think Kirby's going to be the next one.
Cool, very cool.
Looks good, and I'm gonna just laugh my fucking ass off, and I'm like, I'm gonna mouthful that car, a mouthful of car.
Yeah, it does look really cute. I'm not sure I'll get it. I think for me, I'm gonna get Earthbound. I don't need Earthbound. I've played it a million times. I think it's just a matter of like showing Nintendo that we will still pay money for it.
Yeah. Well, is that going on the Nintendo Super like online?
Oh, if it is,
so it's just, then you just got it.
Oh, then I have it already. Yeah.
Well,
in that case, darn. Because I wanted to pay money to show, but
the show, that makes sense because they haven't done much with Earthbound, and even this is awesome. So
yeah. Super Strikers looks fun. I'll definitely play that with the boys upstairs because they all like that game. And
oh hell yeah. I think that's my number one pick from the whole direct.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've never
really
played
liked the first one. I didn't love the second one, the one on the Wii. But the only reason I didn't like it is because when you did your like super move, like your super kick into the goal, you could score like a bajillion goals, and I'm like, well, that's just stupid. I'm not gonna get like 10 points. Come on, like
you get more than 1 point if you use a special.
Yeah, but in this one they still have it. But I like that it said in the trailer, like you score 2 points instead of 1, and I'm like, okay, 2 is
2.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's not a stupid number. Like
yeah, it's like basketball. It has a rule to it. Like if you use a special, you get a second point. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I like that it has customizable gear and that the gear shows up on your character because I'm a sucker for that. Like in RPGs and stuff like that. Sometimes you change your gear.
You are.
But like you just look the same.
You are.
But no, if I can make my character look different.
If you can buy cat ears, Kinsey will fucking do it. All right.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I like that you appreciate that shit. What? Yeah,
I love that stuff. I love it. And so yeah, that looks great. They're bringing a whole bunch of Mario Kart tracks. They were just like, besides a few of the like newer announcements, this was such like a like nostalgia fed direct, like kind of like what Nintendo did with Mario Party Superstars is they're just kind of like remastering old maps.
Right.
But they're doing the same thing, but with Mario Kart.
Right.
So they're going to have all these remastered maps that you're going to be able to get and that are included with your like online expansion pass subscription, which I already have because of Animal Crossing. So, man, good shit.
Nasty Labs.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, Mark, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me at twitter.com/thehenrydemos. Kinsey Burke, where can people find you?
You can find me on all the things at Kinzilla, Knszilla, and of course, you can find Chuhai Lab at Chuhai Lab on all the things. And as always, Carve Snowboarding is available right now on the Oculus Quest. Halloween Forever is available right now on the Nintendo Switch eShop.
Right.
And right now, of course, spoilers, right now, you can wishlist Cursed to Golf on Steam.
You should do that.
Right now.
Yeah. And we are a member of the HyperX Podcast Network. Thank you for being a member with us. That didn't make sense. Kinsey, do you want to say goodbye?
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.